Hey, you guys. So, welcome to Becoming the Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, 𝒹𝒽𝓃, also known as MB. And then we have my girl here, your other host, Janelle.
Hey.
Woo woo. So, for anyone that is new, welcome to the podcast. Just to give you a little bit of information on us, we are a weekly podcast. We actually drop episodes every Thursday. We like to say we talk a little bit about anything and everything, but we're always here to help people on their journey to become. So we leave that open-ended for our audience, whether you want to work on, finances, health, physical fitness, whatever that may be. But we hope you are working on the journey to becoming the best version of yourself. So as always, we definitely have to put that caveat there that we are not experts, you guys, but we are here trying to do the work. Mm-hmm. So this week, I'm just going to start off with me and Janelle, as always. This is not new. If you guys have been rocking with this, shout out to any homies out there. Those are our people that, are rocking with us from day one, are continuing as we go on this journey. We call you our family, our homies, our listeners, our viewers. But anyway, we've been busy.
Very much so.
Yes. So we are squeezing in this episode because one of our big goals for this year is to be consistent, and we are going to be consistent no matter what comes in our way. But girl, talk to the people a little bit. I know we want to continue to take them on our journey in life and what we're going through. And I know this new job that you started, you actually got the phone call while you were on the podcast to hear about it. Yes. So tell us, this was like week one for you with this new job. Tell us what's been going on and how it's been going.
So this first week, you guys, has just been like orientation. But the excitement that I have for starting this new job at this new environment in this new district, let me just say, I'm like, y'all are the bomb.com. I just had to sit back and be like, you know what? Okay, God, I see you. I like this place already. So you guys, new beginnings is always good. Never be afraid of change and going for whatever it is that you want to do. It's a blessing. It really has been. I'm like, okay, I'm really loving this.
I love it. I love it. It seems like you are happy, and this is just a good new transition for you. And so far, everything from what you're telling me seems like it's going to be great. So I'm just so happy for you.
Oh, thanks, MB. Look, but you also been busy, girl.
Girl.
Look, MB has been showing all the beautiful houses, y'all, in the area. I said, this girl is busy.
Girl, I try, and I try to take you guys on the journey. I try to show a little bit on my Instagram what I can, to have time to record, because when I'm at a house, I don't want to be like, you guys, hold on. I need to record this for my Instagram so my viewers can see it too. But no, it's been good. It's been a journey. I'm huge on, and we talked about this previously, being present in the process and enjoying those moments, even where I may have like some pitfalls. So I will say about 2 days ago, I wrote my first offer for a client on a house.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It did get denied. It was one of those like multiple bid situations. So me and my clients put our best foot forward, but I'm telling you that house probably went over like a lot when it comes to asking price. My clients didn't want to get in a bidding war, which I completely understand. So we did write a second offer yesterday on a different house. So I'm just waiting to hear back from that. But like I said, just been enjoying the process, learning and trying to consume as much as I can, and then representing my clients in the best way that I know how to make sure they get their dream home. So it's been interesting and fun, and a lot of like information all at once.
I can imagine so. I really can. And these houses have been, like you said, has been going for almost, I don't want to say double, but hell, at least 50,000 over the asking price, because that's what's been going on here in St. Louis. So I'm just sitting here like, I can only imagine different cities that's even bigger than what we are. Yeah. So I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, I will say I don't know how long it's going to last. And obviously none of us know how the market's going to go. There has been somewhat of a slowdown in the sense that previously we would see like 40 offers on a house Like we could see up to 40 offers just over the weekend, but now we're seeing like maybe 2, maybe 6 offers. So I'm starting to see a little bit of a slowdown, but I think that is catered. And again, I'm not professional with, the market or anything, but I think that's catered to people going back to school. So people were trying to buy homes before school got back in session, but now they don't want to move their kids during, the mid-school year or the beginning of the school year. So a lot of less people are like looking per se. But again, I'm not a professional with statistics. So that's just my professional opinion with looking at the market.
Right.
But anyway, that is enough about, our business. We wanted to just give you guys a kind of an update so you knew where we were at. But let's talk about this week's topic. I think this topic is so important. It has come up multiple times in conversation with people this week for me. Wasting time. I feel like a lot of us waste time, whether we're talking about wasting time with people, whether that be relationships, friendships, intimate partners, wasting time just like doing things that are not being productive with other things that need to be done in your day. So whether that's binge watching Netflix all day, or just, procrastinating and prolonging other activities, wasting time in general, like just not even having like a schedule. Like you can waste a lot of time by not having a schedule. Not that I'm saying you need to plan your day hour by hour, 30-minute window by 30-minute window, but not having like some type of structure can really waste time. And also trying to do 2 things at once. Like it's very hard. Our brain can only focus for the most part on one thing at a time. Like obviously you can, chew gum and walk at the same time because that uses 2 different parts of your brain. But if I'm sitting here trying to have a phone conversation, but also trying to type an email, but also trying to, talk to my husband, I can't do all 3 things at once. Like that's going to take my time away from one thing that I probably need to focus on. And then it's going to it's going to take me longer to get everything else done because I'm trying to, juggle 3 things at once.
Exactly.
So I think it's an important topic. I've realized I've started to waste a lot of time and I'm trying to shift things. But what are your thoughts? What has happened with you personally with like wasting time?
I feel like I have had issues with a little bit of all of it. In a sense, because like you said, sometimes we just spend too much time doing things we don't need to be doing, Prime example is being on the phone. Sometimes we just be sitting here trolling, just going through Facebook and be like, you know what, I could be doing something very productive right now besides watching social media. And so even this week, what I did was instead of picking up my phone, I actually picked up a book.
Okay.
And that's something that I've, been trying to get back into is reading more often. So just realizing what you're spending your time on, and also just documenting it, making a mental note or even just writing it down on a notepad or a sticky note and just saying, hey, this is what I need to do. Like laundry. Let me just say this, y'all. I've been on the go so much that I've had 5 loads of laundry like in my clothes hamper basket. That's ridiculous, y'all. One load full of jeans, y'all. I had over 16 pair of jeans in there, not including like my workout pants, the little stretch pants or whatever. I'm sitting here like, Chanel, you should be ashamed of yourself. But I'm telling y'all, managing your time, even for simple things like laundry, is very, very important. But then also even relationships. We're going to jump in. We're going to dive in deep. Sometimes we waste a lot of time. So I know I have in the past dealing with relationships that no longer serves its purpose to you. And sometimes that can just be holding on just because you're comfortable with what's going on, or you just don't want to let go of what, of that person or that thing. So it's very important that you don't waste your time when it comes to things like that, because not only is it prolonging an emotional stress for you, but also mentally, because then you start to doubt yourself, or you start to be like, oh, well, maybe I need to do this to change myself, or their perception of me, etc. And that's not good. Just need to know when this relationship isn't working. As soon as somebody gives you a red flag, maybe even a second red flag, pay attention and be like, you know what? All right, it's done. It's time for me to wash my hands with you and be done. You just have to know when it's a cutoff.
Yeah. You have to know what your point is. Like, if you feel like someone keeps pushing past that point, like that breaking point for you, or if you just feel like there's not mutual respect there anymore, or you guys are just growing apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are all very strong telltale signs that, like, hey, I need to protect my energy, I need to protect my time, and I need to move on from the situation.
Amen. Amen.
Mm-hmm. But there was one thing that you mentioned that I wanted to double back on and talk about something that I've been personally doing to help me to not waste, or for me to feel like I'm not wasting much time. Because who really knows unless I start calculating my time intervals every day to see what I'm spending time on. But when you are making sure you're not procrastinating, or you're making sure that you're focused on one task, what's really helped me is really, my Google Calendar. I use Google. It's just easy because I can have it on my phone. It sends me notifications. But I have like what I call like a skeleton, or like a template schedule of things that I know consistently happen through every week. And I use that as a basis. And then on Sunday night, before my week really gets started, I'll go in there and change things or add things to my schedule. Because sometimes there's weeks where I'm like, okay, I know I have a staff meeting on Wednesday, but maybe I'm not going to be able to make that staff meeting on Wednesday. But I know it's a consistent thing. So either I'm going to keep it on there or take it off. Or when I'm showing houses, my week varies from week to week because it's based on my clientele. So, hey, I get a call on Saturday. Hey, 𝒔𝓃𝓃, I want to go see a house on Tuesday. Okay. Sunday, I'm going to sit down and put that on my schedule and see where that fits in, because I already have my other time frames set up for like what I have to do. So usually during the day, I meet either in meetings, or we're having to do this podcast, or, maybe I need to do something at home, specifically cleaning. That is one thing I really need to schedule to catch up on. But it just makes it a lot easier. It also helps me not to overbook, because I've done that before where I'll forget about something that I had planned. And because I didn't have it on my calendar, I booked something else in that time frame. And I don't realize until I get closer to that date, like, hey, Tuesdays are usually when we record our podcast, but also I booked someone to go see a house on Tuesday. Like, I need to figure this out. So it's just easier for me personally. And that's something I definitely suggest for you guys, is like, it didn't have to be a lot. Like, it could be like 2 or 3 things that you have on there weekly, but just writing it down so you can visually see it and you refer back to that when you're scheduling other things. That's going to save you so much time in the future. Because you're not going to, I think time also, and sorry, you guys, I am rambling just a little bit. I think when we think about time, we don't always think about time that we're spending thinking about certain things. Because if I don't have something written down, I know me, like, it may take me a minute to like recall, like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Or what did you normally have scheduled on Tuesday? And I spent 5 minutes thinking about it when I could have spent those 5 minutes doing something else, because I just was able to look on my calendar. So not wasting time thinking about things that you already know you have to do because you have it written down or displayed. So if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And on that note, also just making sure you prioritizing the most urgent things first. I feel like if you know it's urgent and you need to take care of it, make sure that's like on your first list of priorities. And then also tackling like the tough stuff. If you guys get my drift, or something that's going to take extra time or extra long process to go through it, make sure you guys prepare for that and start working on it in the process. Like previous episodes when I was in school, I was telling MB, girl, I done did all my work for a whole month. When you know you're busy like that, just make sure you go ahead and prepare for that. You get what I'm saying? Because I already know I'm not going to be procrastinating over here. I ain't going to be worried about it, stressed about it. Girl, there'll be different times where the professor be like, make sure you guys do this homework. And I'm sitting here like, shit, what homework? I don't got no more homework due. That's because I already did it. But again, just making sure that you're tackling things that you know is going to take more time out of your schedule, and just prioritizing the main things first. If you know getting your nails is not a huge, priority, getting your nails done, then put that on the back burner. But if you know paying your bills is way more important than getting your nails done, then common sense says I'm gonna pay my bills because I need some lights and water and gas.
Right. Right.
You know me, I'm just being real. So just making sure you are prioritizing everything when it comes into your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge for relationships too. You need to make time out for who you want to make time out for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they're important to you, then they should be receiving some time, some energy, and some love from you, okay?
Yeah.
And if they don't, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you once, hell, I might tell you twice. But after that,
Right.
because I don't got time. I don't got time.
Yeah, because I think that is so important. Like we talked about wasting time with relationships, but for relationships that are important to you and that you want to continue in a healthy way, like you have to make time for them. Like it doesn't matter how busy you are. And it doesn't matter what your love language is. Love language cannot be quality time. You still have to make time for them. Like you can't, it's considered nurturing a relationship. That's how you nurture your relationship. So I think that is so important to highlight. Like I've talked to you guys about, how busy I've kind of started to become. I still make time for my husband. Like I'm still like, hey, babe, knew I was busy the other day. You want to, go get something to eat and just, us catch up. There was some good news I received at work the other day. I'm not going to share it yet, you guys. I'm going to share it later on. And the first person I told was my husband. Like I made time to give him a call and be like, hey, babe, this is what happened. Wanted to share this information with you. Wanted you to be the first person that I share it with. Because that's just a respect factor I have for my husband. And then just making quality time for him. Like if there's something I know he really likes to do, okay, this week has been super busy. Let me schedule this for us, or this time for us to do this thing that I know he's going to like to do. Or let me plan this. Because you can always shift things. I think what Janelle talked about what was so important was the priorities. Figure out what your priorities are in life. I know one for me is having a healthy, loving relationship. That's priority for me over anything. So if I can't go show a house today because I need to spend some time with my husband, that's what it is. I'm going to try to figure out how to do it. Because I'm not trying to lose his money over here, but I'm going to figure out, my husband comes first. So yeah, I think that's so important.
Girl, that's big energy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be the same way, MB. I already know. I have made a comment on Snapchat, and basically I was saying, if I love you, you will see it, you will feel it, and you will know it.
Yep.
And like you just said, I feel like time is one of the biggest things about that. And just making sure that you're putting that time into that relationship to make it foster, to grow, and to grow even stronger and fonder for each other is really huge. And that's just not with, romantic relationships, but your family. You know how many times people put jobs before family, money before family, hell, other people before family. And the thing is, the lack of you not being there in that relationship, what happens over time is that relationship deteriorates. So making sure that you're putting that time to go see your child play basketball, baseball, whatever they do, making sure you go support your wife at this big old function where, you're dressing real nice and classy, So just making sure you're putting time and energy and effort into all of that. It plays a key role. It really does.
And there's ways think creatively and think outside of the box. If you really are stretched for time, there's ways to incorporate the person that you love or the person that you have this great relationship with that you want to continue to foster it with into what you're doing. I'll give you an example. 2 days ago, the clients that I'm putting an offer in on right now are for They wanted to go see a house in the evening. Okay, it's 7:00. I got to drive an hour, outside of town to show them this house and an hour back. My husband's going to be off work. I text him and say, hey, can't wait to see you guys, at 7:00. My husband's going to be coming along with me for the showing. It just makes it a lot easier because he's able to drive and I'm able to prepare and process. And they were like, okay, cool. I had no issues. Micah went to the showing with me. Mike was able to meet the couple. The couple actually asked Micah a few questions. He was able to answer the questions. It was a good vibe. We're putting an offer in on that house. Like, I was still able to spend quality time with my husband because we spent the hour up there going there, spent the little 30 minutes we were there. He was able to watch me work and spent the hour back. And then we went to dinner right after. Mm-hmm. So I incorporate him into my life when I can. Not that he's going to go to every showing with me because he's not. But when I can and when I have the time, I try to think of creative ways I can incorporate him into whatever I'm doing.
Let me just say this. I would have brought my husband along anyway. I ain't finna show nobody no house in the evening.
Yeah, it's safety and security too. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah,
shoot, I'm just sitting here like, shoot, I'm from St. Louis, baby. You got to be prepared for everything. You just never know.
Especially if I don't know the person. I will say these buyers, I've met with them a few times, so I feel, you never know, but I feel a little bit more comfortable going by myself to show a house. But if it's someone, if I'm meeting early in the morning, if I'm meeting late in the evening, and it's someone I've never met before, or it's like, a male and it's just me, I'm taking Micah with me.
Period, Pooh. Or pack the silver
yep
inside my purse. Girl, I sound like Badia talking about somebody packing my silver.
You a mess. But is there anything else that you want to mention when it comes to wasting time? Because I feel like we dropped a few gems in this episode. I feel like we talked about a lot. But is there anything else that you can think of when it comes to like wasting time? Suggestions, advice, anything?
Again, you guys, when you find yourself putting in all the work, all the effort, move on. It's better to move on. It saves you a lot of time and energy. You get what I'm saying? When it comes to relationships, work relationships, if you know that this job hasn't gave you your promotion that you've been waiting for, and they don't see how valuable you are to them, then it's time for you to go ahead and move on and take your skills and leadership skills to somewhere else. And don't be afraid of that change. And I was like, MB knows at first, going to any new job, of course, you always feel that, I don't know if I made the right decision, or I don't know what to expect because this is a whole new environment. But you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with change. You have to be okay with making that transformation.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what you're doing, is you're retransforming your professional life. So again, just make sure that you put in that time for you, and realize what you want, what you don't want. And then just making sure you prioritize everything that means something to you. Like me and MB, we have been both super busy. But like we said, one thing we wanted to do was stay consistent with this podcast. So y'all, we are up here at 8:40 in the morning.
Yeah.
MB, it was actually supposed to be earlier, y'all, but my alarm clock did not go off. But we're up early. Usually we might do it a little bit later in the day, but we're up early just to make sure we get this thing done and that we are talking to you guys, informing you guys how to move through life.
Right.
So just making sure you prioritize again what you want, and make time out for those that you love. That's it, MB.
I couldn't agree more. The only thing I got to say before we let you guys go is I think it's important to note, and Janelle kind of touched on this, time and energy go hand in hand. You will stress yourself out by wasting time. You'll be upset at yourself. You'll be like, I didn't get everything accomplished that I wanted to in my day. You'll be upset about the, time you wasted on this relationship if it doesn't go right. So you'll be stressed out about that. But on the other hand, again, time and energy go hand in hand. So you will be super excited, happy when you get your priorities done off your list. I'm like, oh, I had enough time to get on my priorities because, I organized my time in a certain way, or I knew exactly what I wanted to hit. So just keep that in mind. Time and energy go hand in hand together.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys. Yes. Yes. I love it. Well, you guys, this is the end of our episode. We thank you guys so much for, continuing to rock and ride with us. Shout out to all of our homies. If you're a new listener and you're like, hey, love this episode, want to continue to listen to more, you are now part of our homie crew. And please go listen to previous episodes. We have them all up. Whether you are watching us on YouTube or you are listening to us on any of the streaming platforms, we thank you so much in advance. We ask that you continue to support us. You can do that by liking, subscribing, following us on Instagram at 𝒃𝒽𝒀𝒨𝒻 Podcast. That's correct. It's 𝒃𝒽𝒨𝒻 Podcast. We love to engage with anyone who is listening or watching with us. So shoot and slide it into our DMs. And as always, if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me on Instagram at I'mJustMB.
And you can follow me at 𝒃𝒽𝒄𝓃𝑒𝓁.
Okay. And as always, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, homies.